Hey everyone, I'm Cahill Benz from Destination Thrills, and I'm here with a big video for you today. We are going to be looking at the most anticipated roller coasters for 2020. Every summer, coaster enthusiasts go out to theme parks to get their thrills, but sometimes the biggest thrills come via social media as teasers, speculations, and announcements for next year's attractions starts really heating up. 2020 is no different, as many are already considering it the biggest year for new coasters in quite some time. And we have only had a handful of announcements so far. Chains like SeaWorld Entertainment, Cedar Fair, and Six Flags look to be making big additions next year, along with other parks such as Hersheypark and Lagoon. Also in Europe, it looks like parks such as Energylandia and Tripsdale will be making coaster additions as well. In this video, we will get you all caught up on what roller coasters are confirmed in 2020 and which coasters are hot on the rumor mill. So let's get started with a confirmed coaster, which is Hersheypark's B&M Hypercoaster for 2020. Now, the official layout has not been released yet, but the park did confirm that they will be adding their 15th roller coaster to be part of their Chocolate Town expansion. From the animation provided, you can see the coaster will feature your standard B&M out and back layout focused on floater airtime. This hypercoaster will be the park's longest, fastest, and tallest roller coaster. This will also be the park's second hypercoaster alongside the famous Sky Rush. This coaster will likely feature a smoother, less aggressive experience than Sky Rush, but give you the same height, speed, and thrill. Track has reportedly started to arrive and construction is already underway for this massive coaster. Now, the next coaster we have confirmed is Mako, a B&M dive coaster coming to SeaWorld San Diego. The park officially announced this ride in early 2019, however the layout has not been released. From the graphic provided, you can tell there will be the standard Immelman loop following the 143-foot first drop. This coaster will stand at a height of 153 feet and will be the tallest, longest, and fastest dive coaster in the state of California. Now, staying with the SeaWorld chain, SeaWorld San Antonio has already begun construction on their wooden coaster. No official word has been released by the park, but as you can see from these pictures, the wood coaster has gone vertical. A potential name for this coaster is Abyss, at least that is the rumor currently going around. We also don't know 100% which company is manufacturing this coaster, but the likely contender is GCI. Now, not to be left out, SeaWorld Orlando looks to be adding a roller coaster in 2020 as well. The park released this teaser earlier in the summer. And websites like Midway Mayhem are saying that the coaster will be a multi-launch steel coaster from Premier Rides, which is not surprising at all considering SeaWorld Entertainment has bought 3 Skyrocket Tube models from Premier Rides over the past few years. This looks to be a custom design layout, making it a very unique coaster in the SeaWorld Orlando lineup. Now, jumping overseas, SeaWorld in Australia announced that they will be receiving a wooden coaster from Gravity Group. The ride will feature several drops and high-speed bank turns, and will surely be a headlining attraction for the park. SeaWorld Entertainment won't be stopping there, as both Busch Gardens parks will be making what is likely their biggest additions in quite some time. First, Busch Gardens Williamsburg is planning to build a massive Intamin multi-launch coaster featuring several unique elements. The layout obtained by BGWFans.com shows the impressive layout, which features a switch track in the middle of the ride and a large vertical spike. This seems to be similar to the coaster announced for Park Asterix in 2021, which is seen in this video. This could not only be the best coaster in the park, but potentially the top 10 coaster in the world. Now, not to be outdone, Busch Gardens Tampa announced in 2018 that they will be doing something that roller coaster enthusiasts have been begging for years, and that is to RMC Gwazi. Yes, Rocky Mountain Construction will be giving the Iron Horse treatment to the defunct Gwazi GCI dueling coaster. Now, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like this coaster will be dueling. However, the park in this teaser announced that it will be the world's steepest and fastest hybrid coaster. And it will be North America's tallest hybrid, beating out the world-class Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, which many dub as the greatest roller coaster ever built. The biggest question is, will RMC and Busch Gardens be able to outdo the greatness of Steel Vengeance? The official layout has yet to be released, but the park has said it will feature never-before-seen elements. With the greatness of Alan Schilke behind the design, we know this coaster will be on the top of every coaster enthusiast bucket list in 2020. However, Busch Gardens won't be the only one competing with Steel Vengeance for Best Hybrid in 2020. Zadra at Energylandia is another creation from Rocky Mountain Construction that is set to open in 2020. The coaster will stand over 200 feet tall and will feature speeds over 70 miles per hour while going through 3 inversions and several ejector airtime hills. If that wasn't enough, Energylandia is also adding 2 smaller family coasters in 2020 and a Vekoma Firestone model. Energylandia is one of the fastest growing parks in the world, and 2020 is a year that they will take it to the next level. Another park that will be taking it to the next level in 2020 is Phantasialand with their new Fly Coaster. It is a modern, revamped version of Vekoma's Flying Coaster. This coaster is expected to feature a launch and a unique style layout. The park has also said it will be the world's longest flying coaster. Being at Phantasialand, we can also expect a high level of theming, similar to what we see on coasters in the parks such as Terran and Rake. This coaster has the potential to take Phantasialand to elite status for theme parks in Europe. We also have Paulton's Park, which will be adding a Max spinning coaster in 2020 to go along with their new Tornado Springs themed land expansion. Many were hoping that this would be the next Mack Extreme spinner, but in last week's announcement, we found out that it is indeed going to be a Mack family spinning coaster. Now let's move on to the more speculative part of the video. These are roller coasters that have not been confirmed yet, but that we might see coming in 2020. Cedar Fair and Six Flags have been very tight-lipped about the 2020 season. So far, no teasers have been released, even though parks like Kings Island have massive land clearing and construction taking place. So, let's speculate on other potential coasters in an already mega year. I expect Six Flags to build at least 2 new coasters next year, with the potential for 4. So what type of coasters could Six Flags be adding? One of them could be a Pulsar Mack water coaster. One reason why Pulsar coaster could be coming to one of the Six Flags chains is that Six Flags recently canceled their Dubai project, which was going to install a Mack Pulsar coaster. Many believe that instead they're going to use that coaster at one of their parks in North America. Now, Six Flags Over Texas may be using this to replace Aquaman, but I think other parks such as Six Flags St. Louis, Frontier City, Six Flags Over Georgia, or even Six Flags New England could be the ones receiving this attraction. I also believe that Six Flags is going to add another 4D free fly coaster to the chain. Likely parks that could receive this is Six Flags Over Georgia, Six Flags St. Louis, or possibly Frontier City. Now, the wild card for Six Flags is, will they work with RMC in 2020, and will it be for an iBox/wooden coaster, or will it be for a Raptor clone? A Raptor clone could be possible for a park like Six Flags Over Texas. Some recent teasers have suggested that that might be the case, but other parks such as Six Flags New England, Six Flags Over Georgia, or Six Flags St. Louis could be in the running for this as well. Now, if Six Flags is looking to build a ground-up wooden or iBox coaster from RMC, it could possibly go to Six Flags Great Adventure. This would likely go in the plot of land near El Toro, where Rolling Thunder once stood. The final wild card for Six Flags is, will they work with Premier Rides or SNS Technologies in 2020? We saw custom coasters from these manufacturers in 2019 in parks like Six Flags Great America with Max Force, and Premier Rides building a dueling coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain with West Coast Racers. Now, Six Flags may want to wait to see how these coasters do before adding more of them into their parks. However, it could also be part of a package deal, so we may start to see these come to life in 2020 as well. If that is the case, we could see Six Flags Mexico or Six Flags Great Adventure be the front runner for these additions. So the biggest question for 2020 is, what will Cedar Fair add? Now, many thought that Cedar Point was going to be the leading candidate for a coaster in 2020 because they are having their 150th anniversary. However, I did a video earlier this year explaining why I believe Cedar Point will not be getting a coaster in 2020. I'll link the video above. So with Cedar Point not getting an addition, Kings Island seems to be the front runner for an attraction, and there has already been massive land clearing for what is possibly a new roller coaster. We'll get to that in a moment, but I also believe that Cedar Fair is adding a second coaster to one of their parks. Where that will be is a big question mark. Valley Fair is an up-and-coming smaller park in the chain, and many have been speculating that expansions and investments could be going to that park in the near future. Will 2020 be their year? Dorney Park could also be on the list for receiving the 2020 coaster as well. They had an odd teaser campaign at the ending of 2018, which led many to believe that their new coaster was coming in 2019. However, that didn't come to fruition, so many believe that it is coming for 2020. We'll have to wait and see if that is the case. If so, it could be a GCI coaster. King's Dominion also could be on that list, even though they just received Twisted Timbers back in 2018. The park just removed Volcano, and there's been a lot of clearing and construction happening on that old plot of land. So many believe that King's Dominion could see a coaster as early as 2020, but this project may be happening for the 2021 season. Knott's Berry Farm could also be a Cedar Fair park receiving a coaster in 2020. Many have been speculating of an expansion to the park near the Ghost Town Alive area. If they were to receive something, many are speculating that it will be some type of RMC coaster. Finally, we have Kings Island, which has been speculated for quite some time that they were going to receive a Giga roller coaster. Well, 2020 looks to be the year that they will finally receive that Giga. Right now, it is looking to be a B&M Giga coaster. We have seen some blue B&M track on site at the Claremont Steel Factory in Ohio. And there's also been a massive amount of land clearing at the old Firehawk site. Now, nothing has been confirmed and nothing has even been teased from the park about this 2020 project. However, with the footers being placed and the land clearing, we can say for certain that Kings Island is receiving a big coaster in 2020. So these are the anticipated and speculated coasters for 2020. We are excited to see all the big announcements in the coming months for what is looking to be a major year for new roller coasters. Thank you for watching this video. Please comment below on which coasters you are most excited about for 2020. And as always, if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to Destination Thrills, the destination for all the latest theme park news and buzz. I'm Cully Hill Benz, Have a good one.